Hello, my name is Kyle Thomas, and today I'm going to be going over the final exam for CGT 147. For the final exam, we were told to create simulations for two of any of these, and I guess I'll split up this into two different videos. So for the first one, I'll show off the exploding barrels that I made. So this is what the end product will look like. It's just a pretty standard barrel explosion. Okay, so alright, this is what I'll be working from just to show, and then I'll create this from scratch. Okay, so for the sake of time, I went ahead and just recreated the barrel I made out of tubes and toruses. So yeah, let's just jump into it. Okay, so for starters, I want to create a VDB from polygons. I want to connect that to the merge node that created the barrel. Okay, and I also want to create a scatter node. Connect that to the VDB. And also a Voronoi fracture node. And then plug those into the correct node areas. Okay, and what this does is it creates the points that the fractures appear at onto the barrel. So if you wanted to make the barrel have, say, less fractures, you would decrease the force total count on the scatter node. And then if you wanted to create more, obviously you'd increase it. And seems like that's kind of taking a while. I'll just go ahead and escape. Put it back to 1,000. Okay. So now I want to go ahead and create some assemble nodes down the Voronoi fracture. Just copy and paste another one. And then go ahead and connect them. For the first one, you want to only have checked the create name attribute. And then for the second one, you will only want to have create pack geometry. Okay. And then we want to go ahead and create a null node after this second assemble node. And we'll go ahead and name it out RBD pieces. Alright. And then we'll want to go ahead and create a connect adjacent pieces node. And we'll hook that up right after the first assemble node. And then after that, we'll do an attribute wrangle node. Put that right there. Okay. And the next part's pretty important. We'll be putting in a line of code for in the V expression tab. It needs to be case sensitive, so you need to make sure that it's exactly this way, otherwise it won't really work. For mine, I just put my underscore barrel, but you can put whatever you want there as long as you reference it later on. Okay, for that. And then also you'll want to make sure that this run over area is selected to primitives, because otherwise it won't run over the correct areas that you want it to. Okay, and then we'll go ahead and drop down another null node here, and then we'll name it out underscore constraint. Okay. So I think after that we'll go ahead and create a DOP network. Alright, so this is a brand new DOP network that we're working in, so we'll have to create some stuff for it. Let's go ahead and create a constraint network. And then after that we'll put a gravity and a merge node down. And then we'll also go ahead and put a ground plane down as well, so we can get a better view of what we're dealing with in the scene view. Okay. And then we can also go ahead and put down a bullet solver. And then above that we'll put a RBD packed object node. Okay. Yeah. And then for this, the SOP path will need to be out RBD pieces so that it connects back to the right attributes. Yeah, and then it also brings that into the DOP node, which is what we need. And then, yeah, so if you run this now, it should just fall apart like that, which shows that the barrel has indeed turned into pieces, but we of course need that to become glued together, so to speak, so that it doesn't fall apart immediately like it just did. So for that, we'll go ahead and put down a glue constraint node. Whoops. Alright. I'll just plug it in right there. Okay, and then we also, right here on the data name, we need to put my underscore barrel, or whatever you put in earlier. That's very important, otherwise it won't really come together at all. And then also for this constraint network, for the SOP path, you'll need to put out underscore constraint, otherwise it won't call back. Okay, so now, you see it's kind of starting to stay together now. And if you want to keep it, if you want to make it stay together even further, you can increase the strength here. So just add a couple of zeros, see if that changes it at all. Yeah, see now it's pretty much staying together, whereas earlier the bottom was kind of starting to fall. Okay, so now we've got a way to successfully break the barrel, and we've also got a way to keep the barrel together. So the goal here was to cause the barrel to explode. So to do that, we're going to go ahead and create another object outside here, which will then impact with this barrel and then causing it to explode. So for that, we'll just do a simple sphere. We'll go ahead and make it a polygon. Just increase the frequency a little bit. 4 is fine. And we'll go ahead and make a null node. Connect that to the sphere. And we can just call it out sphere. Okay, I think that's good for that. Let me make sure. Yeah, that's good. Okay, so now we'll go back in the DOP network, and we'll go ahead and slap down a RBD solver right here. We'll connect that to the merge node, and then above that we'll put down a RBD object, and we'll connect that into the RBD solver. Then we'll need to make sure that the SOP path goes to out sphere. And then also, this is pretty important as well, you'll need to make sure the RBD solver goes above the bullet solver. Otherwise, the whole simulation won't really work that well. Okay, let's go ahead and make that sphere visible for now. And then, I guess for now, let's see where I had the sphere on this simulation. 20. Okay, yeah, I think that'll work. I'll put the center of this at 20. And then, okay, well, now let's make the DOP network visible. And let's see how this plays out. Okay, that's kind of what we wanted. Let me see what I put the strength of the glue constraint node at here. 100,000. Okay, yeah, maybe that's it. Let's try that now. Okay. Yeah, that's kind of more of what we wanted. And then also you can change the visibility of the sphere so that it looks like the barrel's actually exploding on its own. But you can really mess around with a lot of these attributes just to get the simulation looking the way you would want it to. But for now, I think that's a pretty decent explanation of what I went through, so I'll go ahead and cut off the video here, but I'll do another video as well for the other simulation I did, so